this video, we will be talking about the power of patience and how patience will trickle down into your life when it seems slow, but patience really is fast.
Think of patience as like the diamond, right? With the diamond, you got to go through a whole process to even get to that point in general. And it usually starts with one of the key components, pressure. The start of patience really is being invested into that pressure of your situation. Sometimes things aren't going to work your way. Sometimes you got to learn from your own mistakes or what you contributed to that puts you in the position that you're in the first place. And that's a lot of pressure to deal with at one time. So you got to sit in that for a little bit.
And the pressure of making a diamond, it's not even just one part of pressure. There's like so much pressure that goes into getting a diamond, not even just finding where diamonds are, but once you actually capture the diamond, you have to put the diamond into, I don't know the exact amount Fahrenheit, but a high amount of Fahrenheit of fire just to make the diamond what we see as the diamond as it is. Pressure builds something that most people usually start to feel and get boastful or big-headed about, because once you start to see that, oh, I've been through this amount of pressure and I'm still here, or I made it through, you start to get egotistical. And it's like, that's when you have to still instill the second part of patience, which is pivot.
When you pivot from your situation, you start to pick up and act on the things that will work in your favor. You know, you've spent some time in that fire and that heat, and then now it's time to ultimately take a step out, take a nice cool bath. You got to shift your whole situation in order to change the outcome to achieve your goals.
As we all know, insanity is going through the same problem or same thing over and over again and never changing. Like he said, if you don't pivot from the fire to the cold ice, how will you ever see how strong you really, really are? Instead of when you're in the fire, you start talking boastful and you're like, oh yeah, I could do this, I could do that. But then you never even tried to step outside of that realm. You never tried to see, wait, let me make myself really uncomfortable to see what is God really showing me or blessing me with right now.
That discomfort comes with glory. It comes with a lot of positivity.
And with the positivity, that's the last and final step of the patience. You get to prosper. You get to become that diamond from the rough.
And that goes with patience with any situation. You know, it's about being the bigger person. You know, taking that step towards the actual achievement and peace that you really want. And that's real prosperity. You know, it's not about just being right or anything like that. It's even being okay with being wrong sometimes, and being able to be prosperous through that, taking those lessons that you have learned and using them to your advantage.
And it's crazy that my brother, he brung up the diamond, but really God shows that in every lesson of life. No matter if you want to take it to the nature route, no matter if you want to take it to the natural resource route, which he did, you could take it any route. Anything that God naturally made, it always goes through a slow process, but it turns out to be something masterful. And that's just the way that he designed the world, the same way that he made us, our humans, on the last day. And that's because he knew that he couldn't just make this creation how he said, let there be light, and there was light. And how he made the stars and the moon and he had to really take time with us to really show us that we come from something different. We come from him. And it's the same thing. You want to look at a rose. Roses have to go through their thorns. You know how it hurts. We're not roses, but they're alive. It hurts to have thorns all over your body,
ripping your skin up.
Like everything that is beautiful, it goes through a patience process.
Yeah, patience and pain. You know, and that little bit of pain is gonna lead you to a long time of wisdom and even riches. Whatever you apply that first level of discomfort with and decide to sit with, and make instrumental changes to your circumstance, you're gonna find that type of prosperity. And it's not gonna be the way that you envision it when you first start, because you start to realize that your goals shift, and that
You start to learn
what your goals really mean and what they are. And so
and once you start seeing that, you're like, I have to I have to be this type of person to even get this.
exactly, I didn't even know there was 10 steps to this one step. That, like, it'd be like that. And that's where that patience really falls through. You know, you got to be patient with your own abilities and your goals, because if you have big goals, guess what? It's gonna take a lot of work.
You got big goals mean big responsibility.
It means a whole lot of patience.
A lot of people like to say, oh, they're a boss, but they don't even know what it takes to be the boss. And I'm speaking for, as us speaking for entrepreneurs, it's harder being a boss than it is to be the employee, but you can choose your what hard that you want to actually choose. And if you want to choose to be that boss, you have to understand the responsibilities to that requires an immense amount of patience.
Yeah.
Immense amount.
And the willingness to, you know, kind of shed certain parts of yourself, you know, to understand that you might not carry certain qualities yet. That doesn't mean you can't obtain them through that pivot, through that willingness to actually take that time to understand. But at the end of the day, you have to learn the power of patience first, because if you have no patience, then your capacity to take in any knowledge towards your goals is very little. If it ain't working for you, it don't work, and you don't like it, essentially.
So, like we said, this video is about the power of patience. And just to recap, the power of patience: step 1,
Pressure
step 2, pivot, and then step 3,
is prosper.
you follow those methods, you follow that, we guarantee, first of all, put God first, as we always tell you guys. But other than that, follow that. Guaranteed. That's a step-by-step booklet on how to get the best outcomes of what you want in your life.
Stay blessed.